Yes, good evening, everyone. Myself is Suneel. I'll be taking your Linux administration session. My voice is audible. You can just confirm by writing in the chat box. Okay, thank you. Is it audible to everyone? If you can able to hear me, just please write it yes. Okay, nice. So let me start the session. So this course is about the Linux administration. So what is Linux? Can I just know from you? So whatever you know about the Linux in simple word, you write it. According to you, what is Linux? Because this course is about Linux administration. So first we should know what is Linux. So okay, I got one answer. Yes, it's an operating system like that. Yes. It means you know you are aware about something. Yes. Linux is an operating system. Uh, the main feature which separate the Linux from other OS. So what is the main specialty of Linux? Apart from operating system, which type of operating system you can say in single word? Linux is in which type of operating system? Yes, that is the answer I am looking for. Yes, it is not a CLI. You should say this is an open source operating system. Maheshwar. And everybody please remember, when anybody asks us about the Linux operating system, the main thing which separate the Linux from other operating system is Linux is an open source operating system. What is open source? We'll discuss later today. We'll start our session with what? Operating system. So most of the people in the world are using which operating system? Yes, most of the people in the world are using which operating system? Most of the people in the world are using which operating system according to you? Yes, Windows. So Windows is an operating system most commonly used worldwide. The course which we are discussing are now this course, Linux administration course. So this course is designed and it is based on which operating system? This course, which we are discussing now, Linux administration, it is based on which operating system? It is based on Unix? No, which operating system we are going to learn in this course? In this course, yeah, I think you are not getting my point. I am trying to ask you, this course, Linux administration, we are going to discuss by using which operating system? Which operating system we are going to discuss? Yes, Linux. So as you said, most of the people in the world are using Windows. Then naturally this doubt will come. Why we are discussing Linux when most of the people in the world are using Linux? Sorry, when most of the people in the world are using Windows OS, why we are discussing this course using the Linux operating system? Yes, anyone knows the answer? There has to be some reason, yes? Okay, I'll let you know. See, if you talk about most of the people are using in the world which operating system, there is no denying of the fact that most of the people in the world are using Windows. But most of the people who are using the Windows, they are using that Windows operating system for home purpose and client purpose. So if you want to work like an administrator, so administrator job is what? Managing the network. So most of the company servers, if you want to work like an administrator, most of the company servers, they are working on which operating system? Most of the company servers, they are working on which operating system? Yes, Linux. You can check from anybody who is working or from the Google, anywhere you can check it. The most of the servers in the world are working on Linux platform, Linux operating system. And the people who are aware about the Linux are less number compared to the Windows. So Windows, no doubt it is a very good OS, easy to operate. But the thing we separate the Linux is Linux is more secure compared to the Windows. It is more stable. So the Linux, why the companies prefer to use their servers on the Linux? Because the Linux operating system provides better stability, better security, which makes the servers more stable and secure compared to Windows OS or compared to Windows servers. So that is the reason now most of the servers in the world working on the Linux. So that's why we are discussing this course, Linux administration, because once you are done with this course, you will be eligible to work like a Linux administrator. So there is a good demand for the people who knows about the Linux. And this is your foundation course for doing any higher courses, be it your nowadays emerging technologies like DevOps. And most of the people are talking about the cloud. In the cloud, who is the leader? AWS. So if you want to learn the AWS and the cloud, on the cloud, AWS cloud and the DevOps, you can ask anybody. The basic requirement is what? We should be good with the Linux. So once we are good with the Linux, we can work on the cloud technology of AWS as well as the DevOps. So these are the essential things. Sorry, Linux is an essential things for the AWS and the DevOps. Okay. Even for the SAP, if you have the idea about the Linux, it's very good. So now coming to the Linux. So who can do this Linux course? Anybody from any stream can do this course. It doesn't require any coding or the programming. It comes under the administration part. So as an administrator, we have to use the Linux OS to manage our server and the network. So once we are good with the Linux OS, we can work like a Linux administrator. So this course is designed in a such a way that which will be about like 32 to 34 days duration. Once we are done with this course, you can easily work like a Linux administrator. And also, if anybody is having, for the fresher, it is more than enough. Even the people who are having the gap up to maximum 2 to 3 years, you can cover by using this course. Okay, so now let me start this course. So suppose this is my desktop or the laptop which I have purchased. Imagine this is my laptop or the desktop which I have purchased today. So as you know, our computer is a collection of what? Our computer is a collection of hardware and the software. Any computer is a collection of hardware and software. Now in this machine, there is no OS. In this machine, there is no operating system installed. Now I'm sitting on this computer and I'm trying to use this computer. Will I able to use this computer? Will I able to use this? Can I able to use this computer without OS? We can't use. So everybody knows that without operating system, we cannot use the computer. Yes. But what might be the reason why we cannot use the computer without OS? Yes. Why we cannot use the computer without OS? All of us knows that without OS, we can't use the system or the computer, whether it is a desktop or laptop, any computer, we cannot use. But why? No synchronization. Okay, nice. Any other person? Any other answer? Yes, Maheshwar. You have written. Okay, I'm just waiting for others. If anybody come up with any other interesting answer. Okay, let me explain you in simple possible way. So, suppose example, No communication between hardware and user. Okay, okay, fine. So let me tell you one simple example so that we can understand why the computer does not work without OS. So for that, let us take one simple example. Let us assume that let us assume that you know Hindi. Let us assume that you know Hindi language. I know only Telugu language. Let us assume like this. I know only Telugu language and you know only Hindi language. Now, can we communicate? Can we communicate? Uh, Not possible. Then how we can communicate? It won't be there in the books. So if you are facing this scenario, how you will tackle it? You know Hindi, suppose, and I know Telugu, and we need to communicate with each other. How it will be possible? If you are facing the same scenario, what you will do? Yes, we have to look for a third person, mediator, translator, who understand my language and your language. Very nice. That is the exact answer. So exactly same thing happens here. So here you know the computer hardware understand which language? Computer hardware understand which language? Hardware of the computer understand which language? Binary. Yes, binary language, which is in the form of zeros and ones. So which is in the form of zeros and one. Whereas the software understand high level language. Software understand which language? High level language. So high level language is nothing but which is the combination of alphabet, number, special character. So now the hardware don't understand software language and software don't understand hardware, hardware language. So we need a mediator between the hardware and the software. So who is that mediator? Who is the mediator between the hardware and the software? Yes, OS. So OS, now we install any OS, Windows, Linux, Mac, Unix, any OS. The purpose is same. So any operating system is a collection of program. It is not a physical thing, it's a logical thing. Any operating system is a collection of program. So this program, this any operating system is a collection of program. This collection of program acts like a interface. This collection of program acts like a interface between the machine and the user, or you can say hardware and the software. So using this interface, as a human being, we can, as a person, we can operate the computer. We can operate the system. That's why operating system is called as operating system, because using this interface, that is nothing but a program, which is nothing but your OS. Using the OS, we can operate the computer or the system. That's why it is referred as operating system. That's why it is written as what? Operating system. So now our focus will be on, it is not clear. Okay, I'll try to write it a little bit clear. So this is much better to write it faster and easily diagrams. Compared to that, it will take more time. Okay, so we are getting habituated to this. Okay, if you have any doubt, I'll explain you. No problem. So now any operating system is a collection of programs. This collection of program acts like an interface between the hardware and the software. Using this interface, we can operate the system. So that's why operating system is called as operating system, through which we can operate the system. I hope you are understanding. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. So we are going to focus on which operating system on this course. We are going to focus on which operating system? Yes, Linux. So let us assume that in this machine, we have installed the Linux operating system. So this Linux operating system is also a collection of programs. So this any operating system is a collection of programs. So same way, Linux operating system also will be a collection of programs. This is also a collection of programs. So this collection of program of Linux operating system is logically divided into two levels. So that this collection of programs of Linux operating system is logically divided into two levels. First level is first level of the Linux operating system program is first level of the Linux operating system program is called as shell. So what is the first level of the Linux operating system program? Shell. And level 2, so this complete Linux operating system program is logically divided into two levels, level 1, level 2. Level 1 is the shell. And what is the level 2? Yes, anyone? Which is called the main program of the Linux operating system. That is called, no, when you open the shell, that shell name is what? When you open the terminal, we default uses the shell. So what is the default shell we uses? /bin/bash. That is the name of the shell. But the main program of the Linux operating system is called Linux kernel. So which is the main program or the main part of the Linux OS, which is called Linux kernel. Okay. So the Linux operating system is logically divided into two level. Level one is what? The shell. So if you want to apply the command in Windows, what you need to open? You have to open the command prompt. Same way in Linux, if you want to apply the command, you need to open the terminal. So whenever we are opening the terminal, by default we uses what? The shell. So what is the default shell we are using in Linux? So once we open the terminal, what is the shell we are using by default in Linux? So default shell we are using in the Linux is /bin/bash. This is the name of the shell which we are using in Linux. Okay. Okay, fine. So now let us see here. Most of the people in the world are using Windows, but security reasons, most of the servers for stability and security, most of the people in the world are using their servers on Linux. So we want to work like a administrator. So administrator generally works on servers. So that is the reason we are discussing what? Server Linux administration course. So here Linux, what is Linux? Linux is an open source operating system. What is open source? We'll discuss. First, we will concentrate on operating system. So operating system is a collection of programs which acts like a interface, between the, see, there is no advanced Linux like that. So I'll first go through the what is Linux. then I will show you the topics which we are going to cover in this course. Okay, which is according to the RS Red Hat syllabus. So it completely cover RSCSA along with RSCE some part. No, no. I will go through the topics, then you will understand what are the things which we are going to cover in this course. So now coming to the Linux. So Linux is an open source operating system. So just now we discussed operating system is a collection of programs which acts like an interface between the user and the machine. So using that we can operate the computer. So we have different operating systems designed are based on different design by using different different like talking about the Windows. So Windows OS is designed using what? DOS. So Windows operating system has been developed, designed using the DOS. So same way, Linux operating system is being designed. It has been designed by whom? Any idea? Who designed the Linux OS? Because we are more familiar with Windows. So Windows OS is designed by Bill Gates using DOS. So same way, Linux operating system, who designed it and using what it has been developed or designed, Linux. Yes. Any idea, anyone? After this video will go. Yes, finally I got one answer. Mahesh, you are nice. So all of you, please remember Linux OS has been designed by the Linus. His name is what? Linus Torvald from Finland country. Both these gentlemen, both genius, Bill Gates and Linus Torvald, both are alive because when they developed, like Bill Gates designed the Windows OS using DOS, same way Linux operating system is being designed by Linus Torvald using Unix. So Linux has been designed using what? Unix. What is Unix? Any idea? What is Unix? Any idea, anyone? Yes, I'm just waiting for your reply. No one? Yes, Unix is also an operating system, which was completely based on command line, no graphical interface. In Linux, you can use command based as well as graphical, both are possible. But to do the work faster and with better security, we mostly work on command based in Linux. But it doesn't mean that graphical interface we can't use or cannot there. It is there. So one of the main feature in the Unix was very good security. One disadvantage was apart from not having graphical interface, another disadvantage in Unix was Unix is called as Unix is a proprietary based operating system, or you can say in simple word, hardware dependent OS. Like to install the Solaris, we required only which machine? Sun machines only. To install AIX, only IBM machine will support. To install HPUX, this is the name of the Unix. We need only which machine? HP. So if you are changing the OS means you have to change the entire hardware, which is the very expensive affair. This is one of the main reasons for the downfall of the Unix. So Unix used to have very good security. That same thing will carry forward in the Linux. Okay. So now coming to the Linux, what is meant by open source? So the Linux operating system is designed using the Unix. Who designed it? Who designed it? Linus Torvald. So the Linus Torvald, whatever coding, so whoever design any operating system, they have to write the coding and the program. So that is called source code. So whatever coding and program the Linus Torvald written to design the Linux operating system, he put it over the internet, which anybody can access and modify. That's why Linux is called as open source operating system. So what do you mean by open source? What do you mean by open source? Open source means the source code of the Linux kernel, which is designed by free is different. Open source means, once again, I'm explaining you. RIA. Open source means, now Linux is an operating system, yes. So the main part of the Linux OS is what? Linux kernel. So whatever coding is written by Linus Torvald to design the Linux kernel, he put it the complete coding or the program, whatever coding or program the Linus Torvald has written to design the Linux kernel, he put it over the internet, which anybody can not only access but can modify it. Yes, because of that, Linux is called as open source operating system. So that feature is not there in any other OS. So the thing which separate the Linux from other OS is Linux is an open source operating system. Open source means the source code of the Linux operating system is freely available over the internet, which is designed by Linus Torvald, and he himself put it over the internet because he wanted the people to have freedom from license issue. So he, whatever coding and program he written over the, whatever coding and program he has written to design this Linux kernel, that complete coding and program he put it over the internet, which anybody can access and modify. Because of that, in Linux we have so many flavors. So because of that, we have so many flavors in Linux. So some of the flavors, can you tell anyone? Are you heard any flavors of Linux? Yes, like Fedora, very nice. Any other flavor? Yes, Ubuntu, CentOS, Debian, very nice. So why all this is possible? Why this is possible? So in Windows, do you have such thing? Yes, the most important is Red Hat. So most of the people are the companies in the world, as far the Linux is concerned, they are using what? Red Hat. Yes, yes, very nice. So why this is possible in Linux? So many flavors? Yes, because Linux is an open source operating system. So anybody can take the source code of the Linux kernel, which is designed by Linus Torvald, and they can add some features to it. Then you can have your own OS with your own name. That's why so many companies having are there. So many companies are there who are releasing their Linux OS with the different names like Fedora, Red Hat, Ubuntu, Debian, SUSE, one Indian name Boss, like that. So many are there. So why it is all possible? Because Linux is an open source operating system. Open source means, once again, I'm reminding you, the source code of the Linux kernel, which is designed by Linus Torvald. So whatever coding and program he has written, he put it over the internet, which anybody can access and modify. That's why we have so many flavors in Linux. So we are going to discuss this course using the Red Hat through the CentOS. So in the Red Hat, now the Red Hat company is taken over by the IBM few years back. Now Red Hat is releasing their OS with the series name RHEL. So we are going to discuss this course, our Linux administration using the RHEL equivalent, RHEL 7 equivalent CentOS 7, because most of the companies in the world are working on Red Hat. So now Red Hat is a company which has been taken over by the IBM. So still the Red Hat is releasing their OS with their name, but under the management of IBM. So no company can survive on the free concept. So Red Hat came into the market in 1993 and they released their OS with their name. First OS, their name what was? Red Hat 1, Red Hat 2, like this up to 9. Free of cost, they are given to the public. And they quite aware that this is okay in short run, but in the long run, no company can survive. Then after Red Hat 9, they started releasing their OS in two categories. Fedora, which is completely free for home purpose. And for the industry, RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So first RHEL release was RHEL 1, then RHEL 2, like that. So now some people who are working like a Linux expert, they form one association with the name CentOS. So here, Red Hat is releasing what? RHEL. RHEL stands for RHEL stands for Red Hat now giving RHEL for industry purpose. So RHEL full form Red Hat Enterprise Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Yes. So same way, the equivalent of RHEL is CentOS. So here, CentOS means C means community. Community means group of people. So some people who are working in different companies as a Linux expert, so they wanted to spread the Linux. So they formed one association with what name? CentOS. C means community, ENT means enterprise Linux, which is equivalent to like server OS. Enterprise OS means operating system. So they have taken they talked to the Red Hat people and they convinced them they are not doing this any for business tactics or they are not trying to earn any money. They just want to spread the Linux. So with that intention, they took the permission from the Red Hat. So whenever Red Hat releases their OS, they are giving the source code of that to the CentOS people. So exact same thing they are releasing with CentOS name. For RHEL 7, we have now CentOS 7. From installation to command, everything will be same. Only difference is what? For Red Hat, they are charging to provide the technical assistance. For CentOS people, they are giving the OS with same features, free of cost. No charges, but no support. This is the only difference. Rest of the things are same. So now commonly asked question, many batches, many people, this question. So sir, suppose we are learning this course using CentOS or RHEL, but suppose my company is using Debian. So do I need to again learn the Debian or the Ubuntu? The answer is absolutely not. So if you are good with one flavor, you can work on easily on any other flavor, because in this all this Linux OS, this is only few of the name. In all these OS, the basic structure, the architecture remains same. That is, in all the Linux kernel will be same, designed by Linus Torvald. In all this OS, Linux OS, the Linux kernel will be same, which is designed by Linus Torvald. So the architecture wise, the structure wise, in all the Linux OS, the Linux kernel will be same. So some of the commands will be same. Some commands may not support it. So suppose if you have decided that I will learn all the flavor, then I'll do the job. Your whole life will be over. You cannot do the job. It keeps on coming because it is an open source. So if you are good with one flavor, you can easily work on other flavor. So I repeat, if you are good with one flavor, you can easily work with the other flavor. You don't have to learn all flavor. So the best example I can give is that suppose you know the car driving. You have Maruti 800, some small car. Now you are driving that since so many years. Now today, imagine you purchase the bigger luxurious car, maybe Tata Sumo or something like that, bigger car. Now, do you need to learn the driving again for Tata Sumo driving? Do you need to learn again the driving, car driving? Yes, please tell me. So whatever, now you know the car driving. So when you drive first time Tata Sumo, some difference might be there in the features. But if you drive 3-4 days, you will get automatically adjusted. Some small minute changes will be there. So same way, when you are good with any one flavor, you can work on other flavor. So some commands might be same, some commands might be different. So if you are aware, a particular task can be done with a particular command in Red Hat, but you are using Debian. You give that same command, it is not working. Immediately what you have to do, Google it, equivalent command of so and so for Debian. You will get it. You type it, it will work. That's how the people are working. Because no person, single person can learn all flavors. I hope you are following. Yes, are you following, everyone? Okay. So now coming to the Linux operating system structure. So the Linux operating system structure is divided into two parts, the shell and the kernel. So first part is shell. So do you have the shell in the Windows? No. So what is the shell will do? So when this shell will get open, whenever we open the terminal, the shell will get open. So what is the default shell we are using? /bin/bash. So what is the first thing it will do when you open the terminal and write the command? It is acts like a command checker, means it will check the command is correct or not, spelling is correct or not, case sensitive is correct or not. If it is not correct, it will immediately inform you command not found. So it will check the command. If the command is correct, then after that, next thing it will check this command is given by super user or normal user. So most of the commands cannot be executed by normal user. Most of the command can be executed by only root, that is super user or root user. Few of the commands can be executed by normal user. Suppose one command is there to create the user add. So one user has given that command, user add some name. So now can the user create the user? No. So now once he open the, where he has to give the command on terminal. So once he write the command, now command is correct. So first thing the shell will check it, command is correct or not. After checking the command is correct or not, second thing it will check it what? This which user has given this command, whether that user have the privilege or not. Second thing it will check that. So now once the command is checked, it is proper. Now it will check that command is given by which user. So that user, normal user have that privilege or not, it will check. If it is not there means it will say access denied or permission denied. It means the command is correct, but you cannot able to run that because that can be done by only root user. So first thing, the command, what the shell will do, it will check command is correct or not. After checking, the second thing it will check that command can be executed or run by the normal user or which user has given that command. If root is given, it will execute. If normal is given, normal user is given, it will check normal user have that privilege or not. If it is having, it will execute. If it is not having, it will say permission denied or access denied. So what is our shell will do? It is the security layer first. It will check command is correct or not. If it is correct, which user is given. So once everything is verified, now what it will do? The command is given in high level language. So immediately it will convert. Once it is found, everything is correct. Command is correct. User given the command is also correct. Then immediately what it will do? It will convert that into, it will convert that command which you have given from high level language into binary. So this will not happen in the front end, not on the like on the screen. Once the command is correct and given by proper user, immediately now what happens? It go in the background and it will convert into command. It will convert into high level to binary. Now it will go to the kernel. Now the kernel will take over. Now the kernel is called the core or the brain of the Linux operating system. Like in our body, what the brain will do, what the brain will do. Brain control and manages all the tasks. Different parts of the body will do different work. So which particular part will do what work when, it will be decided, controlled and managed by our brain. So exactly same way, once a user given the task on the shell, if it is correct, it will check command is correct, yes. Given by the user correct, yes. Then it will convert in the background to binary and send it to the kernel. Now the kernel will take over. Now the kernel will decide this particular task should be done by which hardware and software. Now it will send to that. Then the task will be done. The output will be what? In binary form. So what the kernel will do? It will send the output which is in binary form again to shell. Now the shell will convert that output which is in binary form to the high level language and displays the output on the monitor. So this is internally how the Linux operating system will work with the help of the shell and kernel. So the shell is the security level. So first it will check the command is correct or not. So whichever command is not defined, it will not allow that command to run. So if it is a Windows, if anybody send the virus file, the user may unknowingly also can execute or run. But in Linux, you cannot, because that command is not found means the user cannot execute that. So that is the reason Linux is very good security. Okay. So in Windows, the files and directories are identified with extension. Like for the text file .txt, for executable file .exe, for database file .dat, for media file .mp3, for batch file . But in Linux, you will not have extension. So here, files and directories are identified by symbols and alphabet. So this we will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow will continue. And tomorrow I'll show you what are the topics. I'll give the brief idea tomorrow about what are the topics which we are going to cover through this course. Then you can decide you want to do this course or not. Okay. And the fee is also, you might have seen, very reasonable, very less. And you can see the quality also and the topics also. Then you take your decision. So shall we stop the session here? You have any questions, any query, you can ask. So about the Linux, how we will identify and what are the topics we will be discussing in this course, that I'll go through tomorrow. So anyone, any questions, any query, or can I close the session? Course content, now we have very less time because I want to give you the brief idea. So it will take 15 to 20 minutes. So that's why I will be taking this tomorrow. So this is this course content. I need to explain a little bit in detail. So just overview is that introduction, installation, basic commands, hard link, soft link, booting process, user administration, group administration, basic file permission, ACL, advanced file permission, how to create partition, how to resize the swap, how we can do the resizing through LVM, RAID, using the RAID, RAID level 5, then process management, monitoring the things using PS, top command, taking the backup through dump command, tar command, CPI, scheduling of job using AT, cron tab, then how to install the application using RPM and YUM and configure these basic servers like FTP, NFS, Samba server, DNS, Apache, DSCP. So I'll give the brief idea tomorrow. The timing will be same, 10 p.m. Yes. So you can easily cover the, I think paper one you are saying, RSCSA. Paper two, most of the topic covered, some topics are not there. Because this course is designed keeping in mind the industry. So this is for the level one. So you can easily clear the first paper and the office environment also, what type of servers will be there. So that's why we have mixed it. So tomorrow I'll give the overview idea, then you decide it about the course content. Okay. Yes, server also we are going to configure. Yes, that's why. So these servers are not there in the RSCSA, but we have kept. Tomcat is not there. Debian is not there. We will be hosting the website through HTTP. For HTTPS, you require the certificate. We are going to discuss Samba to do the SSL. You need to purchase certificate. That's why we are not showing with HTTPS. Everything will be same between HTTP and HTTPS. Only certificate is different. Okay. Like I told you, 32 to 35 days. Okay, today you are just, so you can just go through the recording, you will get it. So today what we have discussed, you can just go through the recording. Just basic things we have discussed. Okay. Fees will be about 4,000. Usually you can put up to 3 years. That's what I told you when I started the course. Session when I started, no, the fees is 4,000 and the content and the topics easily you can cover up to 3 years. Yes, it will be uploaded. You can just go through. Tomorrow, if you have any doubt, you can ask. See, once the session is completed, you can ask your questions. Oh, okay, done. Any other queries? Study material means I have made 3 files. In one file, I have made all the practical steps so that by seeing that file, you can do. So once you make a payment, I'll send you that file, notepad file, and in theory part, I have collected the notes and I put it everything in 2 files. One system admin, one is network admin. So 3 files I'll be sent so that you don't have to write. Okay. So good night. Thank you all of you. I'm closing the session. See you tomorrow. Yes, can I close the session or any query or anybody? Okay, I'm closing it. See, we will see. I don't know what you mean by clearing the exam. See, once we take this course, the explanation, whatever we do, no, you can easily understand. You have to go to the chromatic centers. So for the chromatic center, you have to say, the subject. So they will have the dumps. So they will train you maximum 4 to 5 days. They'll take the mock test and they'll ask you to pay the examination fees and you can write the exam. So they will not explain the topics as we explain to you. Their routine work will be what? They will have the dumps. From that dumps only the same questions will come. So they'll provide you those dumps. So once you practice those dumps few days, you can easily clear the exam.